What's up? All right, here we go. It's been a while since I made a video, so we're gonna get everybody caught up. Last time you guys were with me, we pulled the crank out of this car. It's been a couple weeks. Honestly, it's just been rough. So I took the crankshaft out of the car and we took it out to a place called Shaft Tech in Findlay, Ohio. They specialize in crankshaft repairs. They said, no problem. We can mill out the keyway or put a strengthened stepped keyway from 3/16 to quarter, get y'all freshened up, everything be ready to go. Probably take 5 days. I said, all right, cool. We'll get a crank in this car. We'll get everything good. We had a no prep race this past Saturday, May 6th down in Coonley. And yeah, 2 days later, I got an email with a photo, and turned out after magnafluxing it, we actually had a crack right behind the keyway groove, right up into the radius where the oil pump's at. So, junk crank, cool. Made 10 passes down in Florida. Finally got that 8-second pass out of the car. But down here on the floor, we just got a shipment in from Jordan at Modular Head Shop. He was able to come through since Shaft Tech repairs cranks but can't get me a new crank. Weird thing going on. So, Jordan pulled through big time here. So what he did is set me up with a brand new Manley crank, balanced to my bob weight that I had on the measurements from assembling this one with Gary at Advanced Airflow. So yeah, we got a brand new crank here on the ground. Just showed up from UPS. We're gonna try again. Why not? Why not 3 crankshafts in a 10-month period? We're getting to the point now where this car decides to eat a crankshaft like every outing. That's just not going to work. Actually, from Shaft Tech, they make these diamond embedded washers they call diamond claws. So apparently Coyote guys have been having luck with these. A lot of the Cobra Jet people have been having luck. They're designed to lock basically everything together once we torque down the stud, and hopefully get rid of any micro welding and fretting and the issues. I mean, I've literally had every 03 Cobra crank issue you could think, knock on wood, aside from literally snapping the snout off, which might happen one day because we were not nice to this car. It doesn't owe me anything, but I owe it a lot every single time I take it out. So we are way behind. We've got 3 weeks till Crane and I are supposed to be actually headed out to Indiana. John Valine's going to be riding shoddy with me. We're doing the 6 summer, 5 days, 5 tracks, 1,000 miles. Pretty much all odds against surviving. So there's going to be some serious content coming with all that throughout the journey of me destroying everything probably again. So yeah, that's what I got. I'm going to try and set this up. We'll get this unboxed and get things going. All right, so we got the box from Jordan. Got the old Fat Max back out here. Look at that packing job. Woo-wee, Jordan. So I've actually been down to Orlando and met Jordan personally. He and I, we get along pretty well. But man, what a great dude that's just hardcore into modular Fords. Does some of the craziest stuff. Some of the fastest cars in the country are all done by Modular Head Shop. But I've really been trying to learn how to do this on my own. You know, I really want to learn how to set an engine up and make this, to where I understand it better and be my own boss, I guess. Who knows? So looks good. I can't unpack this with one hand. So yeah, there's a crank in a box. Okay, we got a fresh new stud. So what we're doing here is actually milling or drilling into the snout of the crank. Anybody that's been pushing one of these knows the story here. There's our brand new fresh crank, straight out of Orlando. Look at that, bob weighted, TIG welded. Nothing but the best. This dude knows what's up. That is how that's done. So, what we do here is actually, what goes on here, I don't know if, maybe I'm just preaching to the choir here. But what would happen is typically you'll find that the crank on a Cobra will snap right in this area where this relief is at. And the crank stud bolt, the crank harmonic bolt, only goes about this deep on the factory setup. So essentially, when you have a washer here trying to pull against a bolt, right? So the bolt's trying to pull its way up. What you're doing is pulling on this area of the crank, and here's your weakest point. So what they do, or what we're doing, is we're going to counter drill this all the way down and actually thread it deeper into this part. So essentially, when you are clamping down on the washer on this side, now you're pulling from down here, and all those components are being sandwiched together rather than just pulling on the tip of the crank. So this goes all the way down in. If you haven't done this and you want to make some power, do it. I think if I didn't, every crank I've had in this car has had this stud modification done to it. I've never broken the snout off of one, and I can guarantee you if I hadn't done this modification, it would have lost one. We would have been without. So there's the stud threaded all the way down. So you can imagine it's all the way down into here. And now when you're torquing on that bolt to 180 foot-pounds, we're trying to keep everything together. And if this did break, Lord willing, the stud in here is not going to snap off. So when you start to have a fracture here, it will at least try and keep your oil pump gears and timing gears somewhat in place so that you don't end up throwing the bottom of your motor out on the ground or your valves back up through the top of the head. Stud mod, do it. So yeah, there's that. We got a new crank. We're gonna take everything over to Gary's, advanced airflow, get this new short block crank in, and make sure our bearing tolerances are good, thrust is good, get this thing bolted back up, and wait on a couple little parts, and it's gonna be time to put this motor back together. And I'll try and put together a little video of putting the crank in and all that. And Valine, my co-pilot for Six Summer here, coming up in 2 weeks. We have less than 2 weeks to have this car ready for Six Summer, and we still don't have a hitch. We still don't have the trailer set up. I need a cage certed and a license. So yeah, I might lose my mind. I don't know. I've always made the deadlines. I've made the crunch, but this is getting pretty insane. So give it a like, subscribe, all that stuff you hear on every YouTube video, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. Appreciate everybody, and I'm going to keep trying to keep up on this. All right, have a good night.